Hello, I am Do the Daring Do. I'm one of the music acts here. We're doing a show tonight down in the corral. If you've seen those, have you guys seen those flyers that have been being handed out that say Wonderbolts and Do the Daring Do? You should totally come to that show because it's going to be really good. But yeah, again, it's kind of second nature to shameless plug like that. So you'll have to pardon that. So anyways, basically what this panel is, this doesn't have anything to do with music. This panel is called One-Thousandth, and basically what it is while I'm trying to, work on pony music and everything, this was something I did on the side. Whenever I became a brony for one full year, I wanted to do something really special for it. So I wrote this article. Again, this is not a fan fiction reading. I promise you I wouldn't torture you guys with my fan fiction. So, anyways, yes, this is just an article reading about what being a brony means to me personally, and it's going to be followed by a discussion with you guys, because I would love to hear what you say about this. I'd love some feedback on this, and I want to hear your stories. And honestly, this is my personal favorite panel to do. So, let's see. Yeah, let's go and get started. All right, let's see. Woo! For curiosity's sake, though, how many of you have actually seen me playing in the halls? I'm so sorry. But yes, I'm going to be frequenting that quite a bit while I'm here. So if you guys ever want to come by, say hi, request something, don't hesitate to. I love talking to people. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started with 1/1000th. If I can get the mic into a good position. Okay. 1/1000th. Oh, Princess Derpy! Hello! No, you're good. Actually, you're right on time. It's 1 o'clock exactly. Oh, that's odd. Hey, Maud, I gotta get your picture later. That's really cool. Okay, so, anyways, 1/1000th. Thanks, brony, thanks. Looks like I've joined your ranks. I never could repay what you've done for me today. Forest Rain, join the herd. First and foremost, I think it's fair to say that at least one big event, one big thing happens to someone every year that makes those 52 weeks so memorable. For me, 2011 kept such a tradition going by delivering greatly on the yearly promise. I concluded my grade school career with my long-awaited graduation. I remember holding that diploma in my hand and looking out into the massive crowd of proud parents and family members that populated Dallas Convention Center's arena. Such a scene convinced me that I had really done something special. By the way, a lot of this is very, very cheesy, but every word is true. I just want to give you a fair warning. What made it even better was seeing all of my friends that I had made throughout my years in school stand up on that stage with me. Each and every one of us sported our maroon and white gowns with pride, knowing that we had come of age and done something worthwhile. I knew that it was going to feel weird never having to go back to high school again, but I welcomed such a big step towards adulthood. We could finally call ourselves Plano Senior High alumni. If by any chance, has anyone here gone to Plano Senior High? I didn't think so. I wanted to ask anyways. My reward and early birthday present for such an accomplishment was a trip to a local anime and pop culture convention that I look forward to yearly, A-Kon 22. It was my third year going to these conventions, but actually staying in a nice room at the hotel from start to finish was a first for me. 2 friends of mine and I shared a room and had the time of our lives with all of our other comrades. At that time, I was still overjoyed from the hype of graduating the week before, and to see so many of my school friends dressed in cosplays of every sort made my present all the sweeter. I met some new people and made plenty of great friends with them as we partied our flanks off all weekend long. For those who aren't exactly sports fans, just bear with me. On the very same day A-Kon ended, I returned home again and was blessed with seeing my beloved Dallas Mavericks win the NBA Finals at long last against LeBron James and the favored Miami Heat. All of my Mavs... I'm about to say, where are my Mavericks fans at? I like you.
Do you like it because they're a horse-themed team?
No, it's because I like them because I was born in Dallas. But the fact that they're a horse-themed team is pretty cool, too. But yes, I promise this has to do with ponies. I promise. Okay. Let's see. All of my Mavs past playoff heartbreaks and even our collapse back in the '06 NBA Finals against the Heat still left a very bitter taste in my mouth. Now it was our turn to shine like galaxies and shut South Beach up. The revenge was nice, yes, but the real prize came from seeing a group I cared about my entire life silence all the critics that insisted that they couldn't win it all. Those one-and-done boys, as they were called, were now the kings of the basketball world and hoisted the Larry O'Brien Trophy high for all the naysayers to see. Pun very much intended. That championship took me back to the days of when I first fell in love with that team. It had certainly been a very long time since I was a little 8-year-old boy who wore an overly sized Michael Finley jersey. And now, after all the maybe next season years I had to endure, I was there to see my team reach our dream. The ride they took me on will always have a special place in my heart, and I can't wait for them to do it again. No doubt in my mind that it was a summer of pure euphoria I will never forget. After that, though, the rest of 2011 was less than memorable for several reasons. I've come to expect these waves of highs and lows every year. It's not like I ever get blindsided by bad luck. The blues are a part of life, and everyone gets them. You can't stop sadness from coming and bad things from happening, but it's all about how one responds to those curveballs life can hurl. Even if it's something as simple as the hope and happiness that optimism can bring, there is always a way to rise above those blues. We all need a reason to smile, and a certain something that came with 2012 did a masterful job with reminding me how important such a feeling can be. However, this gift was something I never would have expected in 1,000 years. I didn't win the lottery or go on some big and luxurious vacation. It was nothing like that. No, I got something that turned out to be just as good, if not better. I became a brony. More than I bargained for. I'm willing to bet a very handsome amount of bits that most bronies out there, let's say 18 out of every 20, didn't ever expect that they would become a part of something like this. It's not exactly something that makes most adults pop their heads off their pillows and say to themselves, gee, I think today is a great day for me to check out that new My Little Pony show. It's not. I sure as hey didn't, but looking back on that day when I did decide to pull up the first episode on YouTube, that first step is by far one of the best decisions I have ever made with my life. Since joining the herd last year, I have come to discover that there is so much more to what bronies are all about than I could have ever imagined beforehand. When I first hopped on board, I had little to no idea of just how involved the brony culture was. The content I saw fans put out was unbelievable, and most of it still stuns me daily. I have met some of the coolest and the nicest people because of Bronydom, sharing everything from hilarious moments to deep and meaningful discussions. This is not just another fandom that comes and goes like a fad. This is a family, and it has all meant so much to me. This new chapter in my life has taken me on a roller coaster ride of ups and downs that I have no intention of getting off of. Thanks to Bronydom, I have learned so much about myself and how I see many things in a different light. I've also been helped with getting a firm grip on what exactly I want to do with my life. My confidence as a musician has skyrocketed ever since I discovered pony music, and I feel like it has pointed me in the right direction. A lot can happen in a year, and that is pretty much the purpose of this article. Since this is my 1-year anniversary of joining the herd, I want to take the time to sit down and reflect on things. This is the time when I look back at all the good aspects I've seen of the brony community, all the things I have personally learned, and the memories I have earned with the old and new friendships I have made. But mostly, I want to take this time to thank every single one of you. The brony family welcomed me with open arms and essentially gave me my life back. Official, unofficial numbers. Truth be told, the fact that it's been a whole year of ponies hasn't fully sunken in. Sometimes it feels like this has been a part of my life for much, much longer. I felt so welcomed and accepted by this community that it leads me to believe that this was something I was always meant to be a part of. The only downside of it all, the only downside to all of my reminiscence is that I can't remember the exact day of when I finally said, forget it, I love ponies. I must have spent a very good week and a half with the idea rolling around in my head before I finally said, yes. Most of that time is still a bit of a blur to me, but I do remember where I was when I came to such a wonderful realization, and I love telling this story. My friend Seth and I admitted to each other how much we loved the show over the wonderful combination of chili chunk chips and dip, pulled pork sandwiches soaked in honey barbecue sauce, and late night baseball at Buffalo Wild Wings. I cannot, for the life of me, think of a more manly setting to discuss such a manly topic. The actual date escapes me, but I do remember that we jumped on board the herd about a week after season 2 ended. That's right, Seth and I joined right after the long hiatus for season 3 began. Because of that, I decided to make April 28th, exactly 1 week after the airing of A Camelot Wedding, the day I celebrate such an occasion. What I didn't tell you, this is the bad stuff. The summer of 2011 had me riding high with all the joys it brought, but sadly, like most summers, that time was pretty short-lived. In the midst of all that celebration and fun we were experiencing, I didn't want to think about some truths that were waiting for me a couple of months down the road. There would come a time whenever many of my school-long friends would have to leave Plano and journey on to different colleges, all across the country. I knew it was coming, and the countdown was knocking me flat on my rump. Having to say goodbye to people that were bound for places like USC, the University of Washington, and Ohio State, one of them's even studying in Prague, was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. All of the years we spent together were destined to only be memories behind me now, and I won't lie, it really messed me up. I hated that kind of change because I knew that I wasn't some straight-A scholar with big university dreams just on the horizon. Trust me, I'm not. This was a realization that I wasn't ready to surrender the thrones we shared as seniors in high school. I felt like a little bird with a busted wing being forced to stay in the nest and watch all of his brothers and sisters soar off to the setting sun. What was I going to do? As many people would, I tried to think positively and talk myself through it. It's true that I did have several of my friends still staying with me in Plano to cheer me up, but the void left by the majority of the others still left a real slug in the gut. I desperately tried to think of how I could combat my problem and ask my friends for help. We all came to the conclusion that maybe the answer would come from being in my community college the following month. Yeah, I thought, there should be plenty of opportunities to meet people coming out of high school too. I even suspected that maybe, just maybe, they were going through the same woes I was. I wish I could say that. However, I learned that the majority of whatever fantasies one may have about what to expect at universities does not exactly apply to community colleges. It's very true. Indeed, there were several times in the school year where I'd have to plummet back to the bottom of the food chain as I climbed up from elementary school to middle school all the way up to senior high. But such a change was only by a couple of years at the absolute most. Community colleges are a whole new ballgame. I was not prepared to be calling mothers and fathers, people way out of my age group, my fellow classmates. I remember one of my days during math where a woman in class laughed and confessed that she had, quote unquote, not set foot in a classroom since 1983. She was a really sweet lady, though. A good majority of the other students chuckled along with her and talked about how they were in the same situation. They were very nice people, but the difference in our ages was pretty discouraging for what I was looking for. Most of my remaining friends went to another local community college, so I rarely got to see them. At my new school, I felt very out of place and alone again. Friends in school weren't my only issues either. That was a time in my life where I was starting to get pressured from all sides to hurry up and decide what I wanted to do with my life. Making a long-term plan for life is very important, but it isn't right to force that on someone right after high school's dethroning. This is a very big decision with an intimidating timestamp to put on anybody. I don't care who you are. Everyone has a meaningful passion that gives them purpose, and life is what decides when you're ready for it to be awoken. After all, ponies don't get their cutie marks when they want them to appear. Life decides when they're ready. Just ask Apple Bloom. I had a very good feeling about what I wanted to do with my life, but I still hadn't completely convinced myself that music was what I was meant to do. By that time, I had been playing guitar for about 6 years and drums for almost 3. I could play a multitude of songs from bands I grew up with like Rush, my personal favorite, Pink Floyd, and The Who. Playing them for my friends and family was very enjoyable, and they gave me plenty of support and cheered me on. It was fun, but I still knew that I was missing something, though. It was a key ingredient that every musician must find and nurture, their own style and touch. It's what makes them unique, and mine was non-existent. I could go dig up some of my old school spirals that are filled with my first attempts at lyrics. On nearly every page, you would find massive scribbles covering the whole page as my frustrations blew up all over the paper. I wasn't happy with anything I wrote and gave up on nearly every song idea I tried to develop. Nothing felt right, nor did I believe they were any good. The music itself didn't fare much better. I could come up with a riff for a lick here and there that I really liked, but I struggled greatly with applying it to anything. There was no way I'd be able to extend a few notes grouped together into a full-length song. I didn't have that kind of confidence and was terrified of taking a decent idea and absolutely bombing it. It was quite a pileup that made me slip into a bit of a depression that lasted several months. When I first graduated, I could look up at that high school diploma that perched on top of my bookshelf and smile with great pride. But now I could only sigh at what started to remind me of the simple life filled with friendships and an identity I used to have. I missed it badly. These changes scared me, and I was starting to question who I really was. The sad stuff's over. Dear Princess Celestia. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts. As I said earlier, I discovered Bronydom in April, a few months into that depression. It took me some time getting used to it because I wasn't exactly sure how to approach it. The show did surprise the crap out of me, but at first, I didn't really think a whole lot of it. I acknowledged that it was a very good and well-written show, but I failed to see it as anything that really stood out. Great shows and movies come out all the time, but how often does their impact last? It took My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic a little bit before something really clicked with me. When it did, though, it was one of the best feelings I had ever experienced in a very long time. Pardon me. It became way more than just another show on TV that made me laugh. Does anybody remember the painter named Bob Ross? I watched his show, The Joy of Painting, several times, and while he was painting a happy little cloud, he did say something that really stuck with me. We spend so much of our lives looking at things, but never actually seeing things. I think that very same principle applies here. That's when I learned that one of the things that made Friendship is Magic so great was how there were a plethora of different things about it that appealed to all walks of life. You had people loving the show for the characters, the animation, the music, the lessons, and everything else in between. One by one, I started to greatly appreciate each individual aspect, and when I saw them coming together instead of looking at them come together, I realized I was watching one of the best shows I had ever seen, cartoon or no. But it didn't stop there. It wasn't long before I looked into the fandom and the community that drove the show's success. What I found blew my mind. I'm no stranger to what fans can do on the internet with something, but to see the Brony content excel in both quantity and quality was unreal to me. All the incredible art, stories, and especially the music I found left me flabbergasted. To see how much work and creativity fans put into developing their own culture that revolves around a children's television show really spoke to me. It didn't take very long for something else to separate My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic from other shows I watched and made it even more special to me. There are plenty of shows and movies out there that can entertain me and make me laugh a lot, but very rarely will I walk away with something afterwards that stays with me. This show and community have taught me so much in the past year. I never would have guessed that I would actually learn valuable things from a show like this, but it feels great that I do. The meanings behind elements like loyalty, kindness, and honesty were amplified in the show and made me feel good when I held true to them outside of the living room. The uniqueness of every member of the main six inspired me to strive to be more like them in one way or another. Whether I'm trying to be more organized like Twilight or as hardworking as Applejack, there is always something at least one of the characters reflects that I strive to be more like every single day. It's amazing to me that there are times like this where fictional characters can sometimes be the absolute best teachers. To quote a verse from one of my all-time favorite Brony songs by Acoustamanda Brony, "Quiet grace surrounds you and helps me find my own. I can't tell you how much you have helped me and how much I have grown. Even though you're far away, inspiration comes from you to shine a little brighter every day. If you only knew, I will never get upset and I will never ever forget. The happiness you made me feel, it's almost as if you're actually real." If it was just me who took away valuable lessons from the show, then I'd be preaching to the deaf. But the Brony community always finds a way to remind me that such qualities are being displayed everywhere. I remember a time where I found a story about this guy's parents, and they were threatening to kick him out of his house just because he confessed that he was a Brony. A little while after he announced his story to some random Brony forum on the internet, someone who just so happened to be in his local area offered a helping hand, saying that he could stay at his house for a few weeks until he worked out the problem. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. In this story alone, kindness and generosity are being practiced beautifully by a complete stranger whose only similarity with someone down on their luck was the common interest in a simple cartoon. It's putting your arm around someone in trouble, patting them on the back, and saying, "I got you, man." Those are the kind of stories that power my motivation to be kind to everyone, to keep my friends close, to always be there when someone needs that pat on the back, to share what I am given, to do the things the right and honorable way, and to always have a reason to smile. I don't believe for 1 second, though, that just because I like to follow these ideas, it has made me a better person than anyone else. That's absolutely ridiculous. I just believe doing so has made me a better me. Finding my beat. I'll never forget an early conversation I had with a friend of mine who had actually been a Pegasister for quite some time before my arrival. That little event is pretty much what began my exploration into the fandom. I had just finished watching an episode on YouTube one night, and afterwards I accidentally stumbled across the first fan-made song I had seen from Bronies. It was the 20% cooler version of At the Gala by Simgratina. I sent it to her claiming that I was surprised that a fan had actually made a song based off of one of the songs from the show. She laughed hysterically that I was unaware of the billions of other fan-made songs that stood right behind it. After my little spatter of ignorance, she flooded my Steam account with link after link after link of all these big brony songs that I needed to hear. And I can't thank her enough for educating me. Now I have over 400 brony songs on my iPod, and that number rises every day. I quickly became a huge fan of names like Wooden Toaster, DJ Alex S, Mike the Microphone, Acoustic Brony, and hundreds of other greats that impress me constantly. I listen to their music all the time, and it always cheers me up to know that such talent continues to drive us forward. 1 second. Water is wet. I needed that. My personal favorite, though, has become quite the musical influence of mine, Mando Pony. His songs really spoke to me with phenomenal music, a wonderful singing voice, and lyrics that can give me chills with their powerful meanings. He became a big inspiration of mine, and I ultimately have him to thank for getting me started with writing pony music. The first video I ever put out was a guitar jam of mine to Smile, Smile, Smile way back in the December of 2012. But the backing track I used was made by Mando. So before I made that video, I sent him a YouTube message asking for his permission to use the backing track. And I got my response the very next day. He replied saying that it was more than okay for me to use it, and he was thrilled that his work had such an effect on me. At that point, the message had me smiling ear to ear at this class act. But it was what he added at the end that really encouraged me. He said, "I'm wishing you all the best in your musical endeavors." To read that from Mando Pony, someone who had become a personal hero of mine, was all I needed to build the courage to bury my past failures and music and try something new. Since then, I have been able to get more and more confident in myself with the songs I make. It was quite a hassle, but when I wrote my first song, Birds of a Feather, it was a personal victory of mine. To me, that song is special because it was the first thing that ever came from my imagination. It took me 7 years, but I finally did it. However, I have to give credit to every single brony musician out there, not just Mando. You're all amazing. Every pony song I hear assists me with learning a little more about my own musical identity that I am developing. With just my 2 guitars and an iPad's camera, I promise my equipment has gotten better since then. Serving as my current equipment, I am nowhere near where I want to be with my pony music right now, but I am still ecstatic that I have been able to vanquish those past demons of not being able to write one song. I am the farthest thing from a person as talented and well-known as Mando Pony, but he gave me that pat on the back I needed to pursue my craft, and I hope to improve and polish on it with every song I create in the future. Last segment, thank you. The way things have changed in the past 21 months is unbelievable to me. I have gone from feeling alone and lacking after high school to scratching my head in confusion about how grown men and women can enjoy a show like Friendship is Magic, to demanding that Smile, Smile, Smile be played at my funeral. Despite the ups and downs I have shared with you all this past year, you have shown me nothing but love and acceptance into the Brony family. That's another one of the huge reasons why I want to keep making pony music. It's more than just to prove to myself that I can put my own past behind me. I want to give back to the community that has supported me in the short time I've been a part of it. I love you all to death, and it would take way more than just a simple article like this to really display my gratitude. I'd rather not think of where my life would be right now if Bronydom didn't pick me up. Because of that, I plan on staying here with you guys until the end of my days. The experience so far has been out of this world. So to both the creators of such a wonderful show and to the fans that make the ride 20% cooler, thank you for a magical first year. And here's to hoping for 1,000 more. I cannot believe I'm already 1/1000th of the way to catching up to Luna's time on the moon. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Well, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so now I really want to hear from you guys. First off, I'd like to know what you guys thought of this, and I'd like to hear your inputs on all of this craziness. Not all at once. Anybody? No, yes. I'm sorry, I saw him first. Mm-hmm. And that, yes, you. Oh. Believe me, I want to hear from I've got to stop doing it. I want to hear from as many of you as possible.
Well, actually, another thing I like is that I notice that I seem to empathize with the characters. Like when they laugh, I laugh. When they're upset, I'm upset. And often when they cry.
It's so relatable like that. Like seriously, like I watch a lot of TV and I love a lot of shows, but this is the first time in a very long time where I truly deeply cared about these characters. If something bad happens to them, I don't like that. No, seriously, like I watch this, like as this hinted in the beginning, I'm a diehard sports fan. So when I watch a new episode of My Little Pony, I get into it. Like I treat it like I am watching a sports game. Like I will be on the edge of my couch like, yes, yes, woo! Like, okay.
Which episode do you think speaks most to you?
Oh, God.
I think the fourth episode of the first season where Applejack gets burnt out from all the work she has.
Applebuck season.
Applebuck season is a fantastic one. And that's very relatable because I actually have an incredibly difficult time accepting help, but I love giving help. Like, yes.
When I first got into the fandom, I was not a fan of the previous show, The Generation. When I first got into it, the first episode I saw was when Rarity got shackled by time.
Oh, Dog and Pony Show. That's a good one. You know, it's kind of funny. Like, I just basically what I did. Oh, I'm sorry. You had, huh? Who is best pony? Oh God. It's a tie, actually. Can I? Am I allowed to do that? Can I tie? Well, first off, there is a very select few of characters like I legitimately dislike. It's like, well, that's the thing is they're the characters you're supposed to dislike. But for me personally, like the two ponies I am a diehard fan of are Twilight and Rainbow Dash. I knew I was gonna make some friends and some enemies with that statement.
As long as you don't think Applejack's worst pony.
Absolutely not. I love Applejack. Oh, absolutely not. Like anytime someone calls her a background pony, I literally go, "Oi, them's fighting words."
I just want to break that person's shoulder.
No. But you know that's the thing is it's really funny how, like I said, I started watching them on YouTube. Like the first night I ever decided to do it was I was playing Skyrim, and my character was just running through Whiterun, and I had Imperial actually. But so I had my iPad with me, and I was like, I'm running around Whiterun, hopping from building to building, bored out of my mind. It's like I've got nothing to do, and I look over the iPad. I did tell myself I'd watch that pony show, so I pulled up the first episode and I was like, okay. And the thing about me is I love TV shows, but very rarely will I just plow through them, like where I have to see the next episode. So it's like, first off, golden rule about watching the show, there is no such thing as, I'll just watch one episode. There is no such thing as that. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. So, see, that was a great one. And I keep watching it, and by the first night, the sun's up, it's 6:30, and I'm already on Sonic Rain Boom. So I'm like, I really did that, didn't I? But yes, that's the thing. Personally, I have never seen 24. I knew. Again, there's a lot of things I'm going to say that make friends and enemies here. I know that. Like, for example, my favorite episode, I'm going to get people going, yay, and I'm going to get people throwing tomatoes at me. My absolute favorite episode is Magical Mystery Cure, by far.
All right, man. Oh, it should
Do what?
have been a two-part.
Maybe. I will say this, with the straightest face possible, it really is the only episode that made me cry. Thanks, M.A. Larson. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see M.A. We all do, but with what we got, oh man. Well, again, that's to me. Oh yeah, oh god. I think it's really difficult, but I think Rebecca Soche is my favorite singer on the show. Her voice is so lovely.
And especially in Rainbow Rocks.
I love Rainbow Rocks. Every single Dazzling song is just so good.
Battle of the Bands.
I actually want to cover Battle of the Bands. Yes.
I agree with the Rainbow Rocks because I thought it was a really good.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Rainbow Rocks here. One thing that I really loved about Sunset Shimmer was how they made her a lot more relatable.
I will tell you right here and now. I think Sunset Shimmer is the strongest character, the strongest part of that movie. Like I loved Sunset in that.
Because, everybody can relate to Honey Because I have definitely made mistakes in the past and wish people would forgive you for them.
Hello.
And Sunset Shimmer just spoke to me about
Mhm.
I hard to believe it was the same Sunset Shimmer.
Yeah.
Nice in the second one.
But I just realized we just went on a massive tangent. Big tangent, which I can do, but I would like to at least try to stay focused. Like try, keyword, try. Yes.
What would you recommend to someone that has not found their cutie word?
So, you and I had this discussion last night.
Yes. I'd like for you to discuss it with everyone else.
Okay, fine. Okay, you know what? That is actually a very good point. Is there anyone here who isn't entirely exactly sure what they want to do with their lives?
I'm going to work for NSA. Seriously.
Trust me, guys. I was most definitely in your shoes, and this thing is really what Ponies is really what helped me with that. I really love making pony music. That's what I love to do.
Take the song, What My Cutie Mark is Telling Me, and switch it with University Degree.
Oh my God, that's awesome! But I don't have a university degree. But, oh wow, that's actually a really good idea. I like that. Hi, Bob. Anyways, really the main advice I can give on that is don't force it. Don't ever try to force it. Because I personally am a very firm believer in destiny. I think everything happens for a reason. So whenever you're going to find whatever it is you're meant to do, it's going to come to you. I mean, don't sit on the couch twiddling your thumbs all day long. Actively, try and make something. But I really do think it's going to come to you. You think I actively went out and searched for this or that? No, I didn't. But it found me, and I could not be more grateful. Let's see. Anybody else?
Okay, what's your question?
What?
I think Lincoln can help you take a nap.
Oh, I thought she said M&M's.
Oh, yeah, she wants M&M's out of the candy machine despite having a bag of candy. That's related.
I have a peppermint. Is it okay with Daddy?
Why not?
Give her a hand. Come on, give her. Yes.
Your favorite pony is either Twilight or Rainbow Dash, and why do you have
Because I won that. I won it in a raffle. And again, that doesn't mean I don't like Pinkie Pie. Of course I do. In fact,
Pinkie Pie's sitting right next to you. How can you say you don't like it?
I never said I didn't. Yes. I'm sorry, one more time? Of course.
Yeah, the mirror is still active today.
Oh, God, I love that. I've noticed that there's this interesting little trend where every third episode of every season, at least to me, is absolutely hilarious. Ticketmaster, Lesson Zero, Too Many Pinkie Pies, Castlemania. Oh my God, I love Castlemania. Simple Ways is a great episode. I thought it was funny. Okay.
And Log Live.
Of course. Okay, first off, I will say this. There has yet to, just from my personal opinion, there has yet to be an episode that I actively disliked or hated. There's some that I'm just kind of like, I didn't. Episode, yes. I personally didn't really care for episodes like Three's a Crowd or Ne'er-do-well, yeah. Dragon Quest, those are just, they're not bad. It's just, Yes. Wasn't that a question on EQD?
I think it was.
I remember hearing something about that. Huh, I really don't know how to. You know, it's funny because
I don't think they'd have a Rainbow Dash character in the last Transformers.
Well, just be thankful that my Shyamalan isn't directing this.
it's funny though because before the hub was the hub, it was which I watched Discovery Kids. Like I had no idea this was gonna come full circle. It's like I grew up of course with like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, but there was a brief period in time where I don't know if you guys have ever heard of these shows, but Tuttenstein, Kenny the Shark, and Tuttenstein was great. Tuttenstein, Kenny the Shark, and Trading Spaces, Boys vs. Girls, and Endurance Hawaii. I watched those shows, like for a period of about like a year, I watched those shows all the time. And then I kind of got occupied with other things because, high school and then yada, yada, yada. And then I discovered My Little Pony, found this brand new TV station called The Hub. And then later on I found out, oh yeah, that used to be Discovery Kids. And I'm like, nuh-uh. It was totally not. But wow, that's loud. I don't know. We actually had this problem at were any of you at A-Fest? Yeah, you know exact. The chandelier was shaking and the doors were as. That was horrifying. Twice with the fire alarm. Yes. Okay. So, anyways, yes, I know I've said this already, but I would like to at least try and stay focused. I know I'm really, really bad at that. That's why I'm trying to get better with it. But yes, this is, but yes, this is like, I do want to keep hearing you guys, wow, that's loud. I do want to keep hearing your inputs on this because I've done this panel 3 times beforehand and I just love hearing everybody else's inputs. Yes?
Have you ever considered adding more to it now that you've been with ponies longer? Because I know that's just your first year.
This article is a year old already. That's the thing. I wrote this back in 2013.
Yeah, I know. Well, have you considered
Doing a follow-up?
to it? Right.
Yes, actually. Yes, that actually is a very good question.
I think that'd be really interesting.
I do want to do a follow-up because I wanted to do that on the 2-year anniversary, but as you can tell, that's way behind. I'm thinking of doing it at towards the end of 2014. It's kind of like a New Year's thing. But yes, there are some other things I could definitely talk about that have happened since then. Once again, it's been a roller coaster of, the last night. She is? But, don't worry, we'll get them later when we play our music in the corral. But, okay, just so I feel just a wee bit better about myself, who are your plans on coming to that concert? All right. It's going to start at 10. The Wonderbolts go on at 10. I'm going to be going on around 11:15-ish, something like that. So, yes.
Okay, so, My Little Pony, eventually it will end. It has to end.
Let me.
Okay, so,
The show will end, the community will never die.
That's exact.
yeah, that's actually what I was gonna, question, do you think that the show could, sort of have a spin-off of animations on YouTube by, after the show ends?
With the talent that drives this fandom, I would be shocked if it didn't.
Like Gen Animations, they do amazing animations.
Well, again, that's the thing is, even if Jan suddenly decided to stop doing animations, there's going to be a bunch of other people that are going to keep doing this because That's the thing about me is I will not lie. I am a very cheesy, passionate, bleeding heart, flag waving Brony. I will always look at the good over the bad. I know, of course, there's bad to everything, but the good just outweighs it so much. So I will always look at that, and I know that even if something like some big person pulled up, I'm leaving the fandom. If they pulled that, there's gonna be like 5 others that rise up and make names for themselves. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But as far as, but yeah. Yeah, but anyways, to get a little further onto your idea, because I really do like that. That's a very, very good point. Is me personally, it doesn't matter when the show ends. Like, this is something that let me put it to you this way. If I ever have a daughter, I have every intention of naming her Cadence. I'm not kidding. Like, I just think that's it's more than just the fact that, Cadence is one of my favorite princesses. I just think that's a lovely name.
You should tell Britt that.
Huh? The same kind. The exact same kind. Yes. Sorry. Do I know any, like me personally? I'm afraid not. Most of what I delve into is the music. So I don't know anything about animation. Yeah. What? Ooh, yeah, you should definitely do that. But yeah, that's I've had a lot of people come up to me with that same problem. It's like, I don't know what to do. Like, everyone feels like they have to contribute something to the fandom. It's like, I want to produce content. And that's also something else, just don't force it. Find whatever you're good at, and by all means, go for it. Like, I mean, I already had the unfair advantage of being around music my entire life, like, way before this, so I was already kind of in that direction. But that just, like, really, was the final nail in the coffin for me. But I don't think there's any reason why everybody in this room should not find that thing that makes them unique with that. As they say, get your cutie mark. But it's just something I've seen a whole lot with a lot of people, that they don't know what they do, if they're meant to do anything, and that's not right. Everybody, as a believer in destiny, everybody here has a purpose. Even if you don't know it, even if it's not black and white and stuffed in your face. Yes. You have that notice, yes, I do. He's on the card. He's on the card. I'm actually really proud of these things. I just got these like about a week ago, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to hand these out. So if you guys want a business card, by all means, take it. Make me feel just a wee bit better about myself. But, huh? Thank you. I like to think I have my moments. But, actually, if you don't mind a little bit more shameless plugging, since we're on that subject, I want to at least propose this. I have not written this song yet. I just have the lyrics for it. But I have a song that I will be working on in the future called Take It With You. If you guys would like to listen to the lyrics of it, it's up to you. I'm not going to go cry myself to sleep if you say no. Yeah, you're right. I would. Someone doesn't like my stuff? I once saw a shirt that said something that was like, you know what, that's a really good point. If you have haters, you're doing something right. Exactly, haters are motivators. Actually, one of my favorite quotes on that regard is from the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. You are undoubtedly the worst pirate I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me. Exactly. Seriously, that is so good. I love that. All right, anyway, so yes, this is because I wanted to just touch base on that. And again, let me know what you think of this. Take it with you. It is said that nothing lasts, that all good things must come to an end, that what we love will always leave, but that is a rule that I will gladly bend, as I hold on to what I believe. Why shut the door on such love and joy whenever our show tips its hat and says farewell? What about my memories and the lessons learned? Must I dismiss the friends I made as well? Should my pony shirts and songs be burned? Here's the chorus. Take it with you. Don't ever let the flame burn out and die away. The ride never ends for you or for me, so let's all shout a mighty yay. 10 years down the road, what will Brony mean to you? What will you do? Take it with you. Take it with you. It's unreal to take it all in. Look at everything we've accomplished and done in just a few short years. A simple television show united us all as one. Friendship is magic for thousands of reasons, but who says that its teachings are only good for several seasons? Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, and Pinkie Pie. These are names I will know until the day I die. Rarity, Fluttershy, and Applejack will stay in my heart even if our herd dwindles to a pack. That's it. Yes. Ah, punster. You know, that's the funny thing is I probably shouldn't have shared lyrics with a song I haven't written yet, but I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Yes. Really? Aw, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Really? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and make the joke and say do not steal, but that is one I am gonna be working pretty hard on because I saw that and I thought that was a really good opportunity for a song. Thank you. Like I said though, it's probably a little bit of a boneheaded move sharing that, but I felt like it was appropriate for this. So I hope you guys like that. Okay. But yes, I hope that helps you with how I feel on that. There are just certain shows that if I ever have kids, no questions asked, I have to share this stuff with them. Like I'm going to be if I have a son or a daughter or both, I'm going to at least say, want to know what Daddy watched? And still, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Want to know what Daddy still watches? It's quite the flip-flop, really. Oh God, I love those movies so much.
In fact, my niece is coming up like for Thanksgiving. She's still at the age where she's more into Disney Junior, but she's at the right age where she watches stuff that makes a bit more sense. So that'll give me a full week to get her in into the thing.
I have a friend who's 6, and she's like the smartest little kid I've ever had intellectual conversations with her about My Little Pony. And like, it's like, I'll be like, how did you like the new episode?
Well, it could have used a little more character development. I would love to hear that from a 6-year-old.
Twilight got her wings. I asked her how do you feel about Twilight becoming a princess. She's like, I'm not sure. I think it's gonna change the show a lot.
I don't think anything.
Other than the premiere and the finale, there were only 4 episodes from the whole season that even acknowledged her status. But Twilight Time more than made up for that.
Twilight Time is a great episode. Twilight. No, okay. Not this last one. That.
Definitely like My Little Pony. Because without Twilight Sparkle, you would just assume Twilight.
I know exactly where you're going with this. Okay, how many of you have seen that promo back when the hub was the hub? If you ever saw that promo with Spike and it's just Spike going throughout Ponyville, no one's there. Ponies. I saw that and I was like, I know you guys are trying to promote the show, but God, that hurt. That really. No, it wasn't a bash at all. It's just like it was a pro pony thing. It just said life without ponies would be incomplete. Like I said, I would really rather not think where I'd be if I had never stumbled across this. Yeah.
You see the April Fool's thing they did on the hub where it's like instead they said they would be canceling My Little Pony and putting up my.
Oh yeah, I saw that thing. It was like, what? I was like, I know this is a joke. It was like, oh God, I think it was back in like 2009, I think, when they made the April Fool's joke of the Legend of Zelda movie. If anyone remembers that trailer. It's like, it looks so hokey, but I don't care. I would throw money at the screen to go see that. I don't care.
Excuse me, princess.
There would be none of that.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
But, huh? But I think a lot of what we've been talking about is like a lot of it is indeed, you know, just perspectives and everything, which is my personal favorite part. But also, like I said, if you got any feedback to give on the article specifically, by all means, please give it to me. Because if you liked it, tell me. If you didn't like it, really tell me. Yes. I liked it. It was good. Up thumbs. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hold on. I totally forgot to tell you. I forgot to go into detail about that. You're right. You wanted to follow up. I got other things I could talk about. I'm so sorry. These tangents are killing me. Thank you. Well, something else that happened since then. Let's see. Well, there's a lot of stuff that happened. I'm just trying to think of how exactly it. There was a time when I did slip back into a depression, even with the show, because while you know this was always going to be the bad kind. Basically, I'm not exactly. I'll let you be the judge. Basically, what happened was around from the December of 2013 to the June of 2014, I had to work a job that I really did not like. I was an overnight stalker at Walmart. Huh? 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's a neighborhood market. There's barely any kind of middle pad stuff that would be like that. Yeah, pretty much. Like, you know, you had a couple of racks with bouncy balls and everything, but that's not a whole lot to go off on. So yeah, it was a neighborhood market. So I didn't exactly have a whole lot of, you know, walk by and see pony stuff, but it was a very difficult time because that was just something that was really frustrating. I think that's kind of the more appropriate word to use for it is not depressed, but just really frustrated. Is because I was there. I'd be in physical pain every day. Like the job would take a really big toll on my body, and I'd go home, and I'd get off at 7. I'd go home and immediately sleep. And every single day, as I was like, God, I hate this job. I hate this job. I hate this job. I kept telling myself, okay, when this is over, you're going to go home and you're going to, you know, fill out a bunch of applications and go do some more job hunting because you've got to get out of here. And I kept telling myself, like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. Well, 7 o'clock rolls around, and I'd have to go back to sleep because I'm drop dead exhausted, and I'd wake up like in the evening, and I'd always sleep through that. So by the time I got up, the day's over, and I can't go do anything. And it was just a vicious cycle that kept going, and it was just I didn't like it. But there were a lot of things that there were a lot of things that really did keep me going through it. Was thankfully I got to smuggle my headphones while I was in it and be listening to a bunch of pony music that would really keep my spirits up, as cheesy as it sounded. Yes.
How'd you get out of the cycle?
I finally cracked the code and was able to pick a job up at this place called Cardinal Sports Center. And I remember whenever they told me I got the job, like I went in for the interview and I got the job, I really will not lie to you guys. You know, I said, you know, kept straight face, like, thank you very much. I will start. I started the day after my birthday too. My birthday's June 15th, so I started on the 16th. So I was like, thank you. I will see you in 2 weeks. Kept that straight composure. Walked out of the store, went to my car, and I broke down. I was so happy to finally get out of Walmart. Like, to any of you who have been in Walmart and enjoy your job, absolutely no disrespect at all. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you're not alone. I'm just telling you, I've been there and I've done that, and I didn't like it. But that was really the big thing about it, is always trying to find a way to keep your spirits up. Because while I didn't have any like pony things to go off of, like little to none, it'd be stuff like walking down the cereal aisle and literally seeing a box of Apple Jacks. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. That alone was like, if I was having a really, really bad night, like there was a bunch of employee drama that was going on, I was like, oh God, just get me out of here. A lot of times I'd just be walking by the Apple Jacks boxes, and it'd put a smile back on my face. Because again, I've said a lot of cheesy things in the time I've been sitting up here, but it's just one of those things of just constantly beating in your head, remember what you're fighting for. Because making pony music is a huge deal to me. I want to do that as badly as an athlete wants to win a championship. Like, it's all he thinks about, it's all he wants to do. So that's why I'm out there a lot, shamelessly plugging myself away. So if you guys see that, sorry. Yes. I go for a lot of it is acoustic right now, but I'm trying to go for a rock and blues kind of combination. Again, like I'll be doing this, I'll be out there singing again later on. If you guys want to check it out, by all means, come say hi. Hello, thank you. Come take a car, do whatever. That actually worked. Thank you. I was, yeah. I'm gonna be moving around. Well, the reason why I was over there was because the registration line was there. I was like, hey, strategy. Like, honestly, one of my favorite places to play is like right outside the exit of the dealer's room. Again, it's strategy. It's strategy. Be where people are going to be. Like, you think I should go out way into the corner? Like, way over where the fitness room is? Like, way down there? That's not smart. Yes, it does, actually. But again, like, that's what I'm saying is, thank you. Basically, what I'm saying with this is, just because I had all that, all the negative stuff is not behind me. There's always going to be ups and downs, but I know I will always, regardless of if the show ends tomorrow, somehow, thank you. That works too. That works too. Pretty please? I was about to say. Yes, that's my OC. Because Pegasi are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
You should go get your OC made in the vendor hall. She draws contacts. I got mine.
That is a great idea. Ooh, I should do that. What? It's one of the, yes, like seriously, I do plan on turning making pony music into a job, like selling albums and whatnot. But so far in the 2 years I've been doing this, I haven't made a single cent. And you know what? I don't care. Because I know that's going to come later on. That's fine. I do this because I love seeing people clap along, smile. I remember I was at the last Nightmare Nights playing, and there was this little girl in a Rainbow Dash Equestria Girls Wonder Colts cosplay who came up and requested me to play What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me. And just the look on her face of just, her going, that is just unreal of just how people will react to that stuff. Like, really, music is the universal language. I swear it is.
But something threw me during that episode. You think the Cutie Mark Crusaders would probably learn something from that song? They got something they really weren't good at, they'd be miserable for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. What I have to say is, I saw him put those in his pocket. Are you handing them all out? The cards. Seriously? You guys, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, first of all, my friends do not count. My friends do not count. Before I came in here, is there anybody in here who actually knew who I was? Yeah, okay, fine. Everybody, if you've ever heard of me, raise your hand. My God. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Again, the support is unreal. I don't consider myself horse famous by any stretch of the imagination. God bless whoever came up with that term, by the way. But I don't consider myself that caliber by any stretch of the imagination. I'm pushing for it, and I'd love to, but really, if I just playing in halls and making people smile, that's just unreal. Like, I will never stop doing that. So, believe me, cheesy. Cheese sandwich indeed. I heard it was his birthday yesterday.
It was.
So that was a thing. It was indeed Weird Al's birthday yesterday. Man.
Her birthday was the other day, and I sent her the Make-A-Wish bit. Like,
Oh, actually, you know what, guys? I'm totally shamelessly plugging here, but later on tonight for my set, I am actually doing my own little version of Make-A-Wish. So if you want to hear that song, come on down. Later on tonight, around 11:15, like the Wonderbolts are going on, and they're gonna put on a fantastic show. And then after that, I go on, and it's downstairs in the corral.
You should dedicate it to all October birthdays.
I was gonna do that. So anyone who's in this panel, you're kind of getting a sneak peek, I guess. But yes, that is. I could sit here and talk for hours and hours and hours about how much I love this stuff and just how much you guys mean to me, and all that stuff. But I know that there's going to be another panel in here. So seriously, thank you guys so very much for coming to this panel. I really hope you enjoyed it.